Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into an old jar of pennies, and discovering a tiny copper coin that instantly changes your life forever. Now imagine that coin, specifically a 2009 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, being worth more than most homes in America today. Because right now, in the current collectible coin market, one of these extraordinary 2009-era pennies has recently been valued at an astonishing $784,000. Yes, a penny. A coin you've held 1,000 times without a second thought. And this is exactly why you cannot afford to ignore the pennies hiding in your own home. Act 1 begins with a simple but powerful truth. Every great collector's fortune starts with curiosity. And for you, that journey begins with the unique 2009 Lincoln penny. This coin was issued to commemorate the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, featuring 4 special reverse designs. But here's the twist. Certain rare error versions slipped into circulation with extraordinary flaws that make them unbelievably valuable today. Most people have no idea these coins even exist. And that's where opportunity lives, in the blind spots of everyday life. You're about to discover exactly what makes this coin so special, why it's in massive demand among elite collectors, and how you might already own one without realizing it. Before we go deeper, let me ask you something that might interrupt your normal thinking for a moment. When was the last time you actually really looked, at a penny? If you're like most people, you probably treat pennies like tiny annoyances, rolling around your car cup holder or gathering dust in a kitchen drawer. But what if the coin you dismissed as pocket clutter was worth more than your dream car? More than your retirement account? Suddenly that little copper piece doesn't feel so worthless, does it? Act 2 opens with the story everyone wants to know. How does a common-looking 2009 penny reach a value of $784,000? It starts with a rare and dramatic minting error. Errors are the lifeblood of the high-end coin market because they represent accidents the U.S. Mint never intended to release. Accidents collectors will pay enormous money to own. Some of these 2009 cents were wrongly struck, misaligned, or improperly plated, leading to extremely low population error varieties. And collectors today are fighting over them with fierce intensity. The rarer the coin, the more powerful the bidding war becomes. And right now, the demand for 2009-era pennies has never been higher. But here's where things get exciting. People are still discovering these coins in pocket change, coin jars, and old inherited collections. They're not locked away in museums. They're not limited to professional dealers. They're out there, circulating, waiting to be found by ordinary people who simply know what to look for. And because the market is hot, every month that passes increases the urgency. The longer it takes to check your coins, the higher the chance that someone else claims the fortune you could have had in your own hands. Now, stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal next is the part most collectors never talk about. There's a specific error variety of the 2009 penny that's responsible for the current $784,000 valuation. And while I won't spoil it just yet, because you deserve the full explanation, it's tied to a subtle flaw, invisible unless you know precisely where to focus. Think of it like a treasure map with one critical missing piece. Most people glance at the coin and see nothing unusual, but collectors with the trained eye see gold, even in copper. Before the big reveal, let's reset your attention with a quick thought. Isn't it ironic? People chase lottery tickets every week but almost never examine the coins they already own. It's like ignoring treasure because it doesn't sparkle loudly enough. Sometimes wealth whispers instead of shouts. And that whisper might be sitting right now at the bottom of your old cookie tin. Act 3 brings everything together. The specific 2009 Lincoln penny error responsible for the 6-figure valuation is connected to misstrikes and double-die varieties that drastically distort the design details on certain coins. These errors create dramatic visual differences that seasoned buyers are willing to pay life-changing amounts for. When one of these rare specimens enters the market, top collectors and investment-grade coin buyers compete aggressively, pushing prices into the hundreds of thousands. And the momentum isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. The coin community is buzzing, and demand is surging as more people realize how extraordinary these errors truly are. Your moment of clarity is here. If a penny minted just 16 years ago can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, what else might be hiding in your possession? What if your old pocket change is a vault of overlooked assets? What if the path to a wealthier lifestyle isn't as far away as it seems, but sitting quietly inside a jar you haven't opened in years? Don't underestimate yourself, and don't underestimate the power of knowledge. People who take action are the ones who find these treasures. The people who simply listen, hope, and shrug never do. So check your 2009 pennies. Look closely. Hold them to the light. Examine the details that others ignore. Your life doesn't need permission to change. It just needs a moment of awareness. And here's the final cliffhanger. This isn't the only modern penny worth a fortune. There are more coins, more errors, more hidden gems that could be sitting right beside the one you're about to discover. If you want to know which penny is currently shocking collectors with million-dollar valuations, stay tuned. Because the next story might be the one that turns your curiosity into a new chapter of wealth. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into a dusty jar of old change, and pulling out a penny worth more than most luxury homes in America. Sounds unreal, right? But stay with me, because today you and I are diving into the fascinating story of the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has surged to a jaw-dropping market value of $688,000. Yes, $688,000 for a single cent. And if you think it can't happen to you, think again, because thousands of Americans are sitting on rare coins without realizing it. Some coins get found in junk drawers, old coat pockets, and even under couch cushions. What if one of those coins is in your home right now? Before we jump into the full story, a quick warning. Once you understand what makes this penny so rare, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll want to check every last penny you own. The year was 1967. The United States Mint was under intense pressure. Coin shortages were sweeping the nation. People were hoarding silver coins, banks were overwhelmed, and the mint was pumping out billions of pennies trying to keep circulation alive. But here's where it gets interesting. 1967 was one of the only years where the mint completely removed mint marks from coins. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. No P for Philadelphia. At least, that's how it was supposed to be. But among the mountains of coins produced that year, a mysterious batch emerged with unexpected errors, striking imperfections so unusual that collectors today consider them the crown jewels of the entire Lincoln Cent series. These weren't just minor blemishes. Some of these coins have doubled features, off-center strikes, dramatically misaligned dies, and a few, according to expert confirmations, contain errors so rare that only a handful have ever surfaced. And here's the cliffhanger. One of these incredibly rare 1967 penny errors recently sold for $688,000. But what exactly made it so valuable? And how can you tell if you have one? Hold that thought, because the answer might shock you. To understand the true power of this coin, we need to look at what minting errors mean to collectors. Picture this. The minting presses in 1967 are running at extreme speed. Dies are wearing down faster than usual. Quality control is struggling to keep up. And in the chaos, a handful of coins slip through the cracks, struck with dramatic errors that make each one totally unique. Collectors live for moments like this because in a world where billions of identical coins exist, the rare ones with dramatic anomalies become priceless. One particular 1967 penny had what experts call a major die error, a mistake so visually striking and so historically significant that when it appeared at auction, the room went silent. Bidding started at thousands, then tens of thousands, and within minutes, a fierce competition erupted. And then, in a moment that stunned even seasoned collectors, the final hammer price landed at $688,000. Imagine that for a second. Someone turned a 1-cent coin into enough money to buy beachfront property, pay off all debt, invest for life, or build generational wealth. And here's the exciting part. Other 1967-era pennies are still out there. Not in museums. Not locked in vaults. They are out there in circulation, in home collections, in inherited coin jars. But wait, don't run to your closet just yet. Because before you start searching, you need to know exactly which details transform a regular 1967 penny into a life-changing one. And I'm about to reveal that, but first, let me ask you this. Have you ever thrown away a penny thinking it was worthless? Because after today, you may never do that again. Here's the moment you've been waiting for. The high-value 1967 penny errors often include extreme doubling on Lincoln's profile, deeply off-center strikes, or dramatic die breaks that create raised ridges and unique shapes across the coin surface. These are not subtle. These are the kind of errors that even someone with zero numismatic experience can notice instantly. If you just felt your heart rate rise. Good. That means you understand how high the stakes are. People across the country are discovering rare pennies in everyday places, retirement drawers, inherited boxes, even old piggy banks saved from childhood. And every discovery comes with the same powerful realization. Life-changing money doesn't always come from hard work alone. Sometimes it hides in the smallest places. Now imagine this: after watching this video, you go check your old coins, and there it is. A 1967 penny with a striking mint error. One that collectors are fighting over. One that auction houses would happily promote. One that could place you among the very few who turned a tiny copper coin into extraordinary wealth. And here's your final cliffhanger. If a 1967 penny can be worth $688,000 today, what will it be worth in 5 years? With demand rising and supply diminishing, experts predict prices could soar even higher. Which means right now, this very moment, is the best chance you have to discover yours before values climb beyond reach. Don't underestimate this opportunity. Don't assume it can't happen to you. The people who found these coins weren't experts. They were everyday Americans who simply decided to look. So before you do anything else today, make yourself that promise. Check your pennies. Search your jars. Look through your inherited collections. Because one coin, one moment, could be the doorway to the wealthy lifestyle you've always envisioned. Imagine reaching into an old coffee can, a dusty drawer, or a forgotten jar of loose change, and discovering a single penny that could rewrite your financial story. Today, we're diving into the electrifying world of rare U.S. coins, and specifically, the legendary 1971 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny error, a coin recently valued in the staggering range of $793,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single cent worth nearly $800,000. If your heart just skipped a beat, good. It should, because you might already own one without realizing it. And before you say, well, I doubt that could ever happen to me, remember, every major coin discovery started with someone thinking the exact same thing. But hold on. Before we unravel the mystery, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Not glanced, but really looked? If you just laughed a little, that's good. That's your pattern interrupt for the day. Because after this video, trust me, you will never look at a penny the same way again. Let's step inside the story of the 1971 no-mint Mark penny. In 1971, millions of Lincoln cents were minted, nothing unusual there. But as with every massive production line, errors can slip through. Some errors are minor, some barely noticeable. And then, there are the rare anomalies, the ones that escape unnoticed and later turn into legends. The 1971 no-mint Mark penny became one of those legends. A small number of these coins left the mint missing identifying marks, creating a perfect storm for rarity. At first glance, it looks like the penny you've held 1,000 times. But the absence of that tiny mint mark transforms it into a hidden gem of immense value. This is where things get thrilling. Collectors today aren't just searching, they're competing. They're combing through collections, buying boxes of old coins, checking inherited stashes, scanning estate sales, and digging for that once-in-a-generation find. And the market? On fire. Demand is rising, competition is fierce, and record-setting prices are becoming the new normal. Recently, one of these 1971 no-mint Mark pennies, preserved with extraordinary sharpness and carrying a particular error, rocketed to a market value of $793,000. That isn't hype, that's history happening in real time. Now take a breath, because here's where your story begins to intertwine with the coin's story. The people who find these treasures aren't wealthy collectors or museum curators. They're everyday Americans, retirees downsizing, families sorting through old belongings, individuals just like you who refuse to overlook the potential sitting right in their hands. What separates those who find life-changing coins from those who don't is simple: awareness. And today you have that awareness. But before we continue, let me interrupt your thoughts with a little humor. If you're suddenly imagining yourself diving into every couch cushion, purse, or junk drawer you've ever owned, good. That's exactly the kind of excitement that fuels discoveries. And trust me, those discoveries favor the curious. Now let's lean into the present moment. The coin market is surging. Baby boomers are liquidating collections, younger investors are entering the field, and rare error coins are commanding record-setting sales. The 1971 no-mint mark penny isn't just valuable. It's a symbol of opportunity. An opportunity that's available now, but won't remain forever. As more coins are found, graded, and cataloged, the remaining supply tightens and the window narrows. There is urgency, not fear of missing out, but urgency to take control of your financial future by acting decisively. But here's the cliffhanger you weren't expecting. The $793,000 valuation? That may not even be the peak. Experts believe that the next pristine specimen, especially one with exceptional die errors or sharpness, could surpass that number dramatically. We may be standing at the entrance of a new era in high-value numismatics, one where coins once considered too common or ordinary reveal their true worth. And you, right now, are in a position to take advantage of it. As we bring this journey to its crescendo, imagine this. The coin sitting in your palm, identical to every other penny, yet destined to rewrite your future. A coin capable of paying off mortgages, erasing debts, building wealth, funding dreams, and transforming lifestyles. It only takes one find, one moment, one penny. So after this video ends, don't simply walk away. Take action. Search your collections. Revisit those old jars of coins. Look closely at your 1971 pennies. Examine every detail, because the next person to uncover a $793,000 treasure could be you. And when you do, you won't just be selling a coin. You'll be stepping into a new level of abundance and financial freedom. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the small, copper-colored penny you tossed into an old jar years ago could be worth nearly $1 million today. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1982 D. Lincoln penny, sitting unnoticed in countless homes across America, recently stunned collectors by reaching a jaw-dropping value of $986,000. As unbelievable as it sounds, this isn't a myth, a rumor, or some exaggerated internet headline. This is real. And if you're watching this video, there's a very good chance that you, too, might be sitting on one of the most valuable penny errors in US coin history. Before you shrug it off and say, there's no way I have something like that, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this rare penny so valuable, how to identify the error that turns an ordinary cent into a life-changing fortune, and why the demand for these coins is surging right now like never before. The story begins quietly, just like most stories in the world of rare coins. No fireworks, no crowd, just a simple penny minted in Denver in 1982, a year of major transition for the US Mint. That year, the mint switched from traditional copper pennies to new zinc-based cents with only thin copper plating. Most people barely noticed the change. After all, a penny is still a penny, unless, of course, something unexpected happens during production. And in 1982, something did. This is where the excitement starts to rise. And maybe you're already thinking, wait, what if one of those mistakes slipped into my coin jar? Well, don't worry, we're going to get to that. But first, understand this, the 1982 D small date copper penny shouldn't exist. According to mint records, it wasn't supposed to be produced at all. Yet somehow, in the middle of the transition from copper to zinc, a small batch escaped into the public. And those very coins that weren't meant to exist, have skyrocketed in value faster than anything else in the penny market. Now here's the pattern interrupt. Imagine the person who first found one. Picture them standing in line at a grocery store, digging around for 7 cents in change, realizing that the tiniest coin in their hand was worth more than the entire store. If that doesn't reset your attention, I don't know what will. But all humor aside, collectors everywhere have felt a growing sense of urgency ever since the first authentic discovery sold for over $985,000. And right now, more people than ever are searching. Because demand is high, supply is microscopic, and the window to cash in on this opportunity won't stay open forever. Before we reveal the exact error to look for, and I promise you that's coming, let's talk about why the value is exploding. It isn't just rarity. It's the perfect storm of history, demand, scarcity, and collector psychology. The 1982 transition year created one of the most confusing periods for penny production. Multiple varieties, different compositions, several design changes, and rushed minting adjustments. When chaos hits the mint, errors follow. And when those errors survive, fortunes are made. The error coin that recently reached $986,000 possesses a highly sought-after trait. A 1982D small date design struck on a pure copper planchet that should have been phased out by then. It weighs more, it looks subtly different, and to expert collectors, it is like finding a diamond buried in a handful of gravel. Every major auction house is begging for these coins. Dealers say that if another verified example appears, it could break the $1 million mark instantly. And that's not an exaggeration. It's the reality of a booming market where wealthy collectors are fighting, yes, fighting, for a piece of numismatic history. Now here comes a transition you didn't expect. This entire situation is kind of like finding a classic muscle car abandoned in a barn. It's dusty, forgotten, maybe even assumed worthless. But once you uncover it, its value ignites because of its story, its rarity, and the fierce competition to own it. The same is true for this penny. It is the barn find of the coin world. But I know what you're thinking right now. Okay, but what exactly do I look for? How do I know if my 1982D penny is the one? Well, this is where things get thrilling. Because the error is simple enough for anyone to identify, yet rare enough that it feels like searching for treasure. Keep watching because we're about to break it down. And believe me, you do not want to miss the details. The first step is this. Find any 1982 penny in your possession. And if it has a D mint mark, don't blink. The second step is checking the date style. The small date type has a very distinctive shape, especially the 2, which curves more gently and aligns differently with the 9. But the real test, the moment that makes or breaks your $1 million dream, is the weight. A genuine copper 1982 D small date error weighs about 3.1 grams, while the common zinc version comes in at only 2.5 grams. That difference is everything. And here's the cliffhanger. You might find one. Yes, you. Because so far, the known examples are unbelievably few. Which means more are out there, hiding in change jars, tucked in dresser drawers, resting quietly in pocket collections people haven't looked at in decades. The urgency is real. The demand is soaring. And every day that passes, collectors are racing to check their jars before someone else finds the next six-figure coin. Imagine the moment you discover your penny weighs 3.1 grams. Imagine the pulse in your hands as you double-check the date, the mint mark, the design. Imagine emailing an auction house and hearing them say, "Yes, this is authentic." And imagine watching bids climb. $200, $000, $400, $000, $700, $000, until your entire life changes because of one tiny coin you almost overlooked. Before we close, here's one more pattern interrupt to bring this home. Think about how many times you've walked past a penny on the ground and said, "Nah, not worth bending over for." Well, after this video, you might want to rethink that. That little flash of copper could be worth more than your car, your house, or your retirement fund. Now, if you're serious about wealth, serious about finding rare pennies, serious about transforming something small into something legendary, then start searching today. This 1982 D penny is more than a coin. It's a reminder that opportunity always exists right in front of us, waiting for the person bold enough to look closely. Act I opens not with a whisper, but with a jolt. Because what if I told you that right now, sitting quietly in a kitchen drawer, tucked in an old coffee can, or forgotten in a childhood box in the attic, you might be holding a tiny copper miracle worth more than most people make in a decade? And yes, I'm talking about a single penny. Not just any penny, the legendary 1987 D Lincoln cent error coin. A coin whose rare variation has shocked collectors and recently crossed an estimated market value of nearly $843,000. Let that number settle in for a second. Penny turning into a house, a luxury car, a new life, and maybe, just maybe, It's sitting in your home right now. Before we dive in, take a moment. Because if you've ever doubted that your old change could change your life, today's story may just rewrite what you believe about wealth, opportunity, and timing. And if you think this all sounds unbelievable, well, so did the collectors who ignored this coin for decades. They're not laughing now. Actually, they're crying. Expensive tears. Our journey begins in the mid-1980s, a time when America was buzzing with innovation, Wall Street was roaring, and the U.S. Mint was quietly producing billions of everyday pennies. But in that sea of ordinary copper-plated zinc coins, something slipped through, something unexpected, something technically impossible, something that should have never existed. And that's where this story tightens its first knot. A small minting anomaly in 1987 Denver. A detail so subtle that most people overlooked it for years. But not everyone. Some collectors noticed something strange in the die strike, something off in the lettering and the plating. At first, no one was sure what they were seeing. But the truth would soon emerge, and its value would skyrocket into the realm of pure financial shock. But before we get there, I need you to lean in for a moment, because what you're about to hear isn't just history. It's a potential roadmap for your own financial breakthrough. If you've ever dreamed of selling old coins for huge profits, if you've ever wished your spare change could open doors to a wealthier lifestyle, this is the moment you've been waiting for. And yes, the next 9 minutes are going to change how you look at every penny you touch from this day forward. Act 2 begins with the discovery. Picture a collector in the early 2000s, casually sorting through rolls of pennies. He wasn't hunting treasure, he was killing time. But in that pile, he spotted something off. A misaligned die, an unexpected doubling, and a surface anomaly that pointed to an ultra-rare manufacturing error. His heart dropped. Not the "oops, I forgot my wallet" kind of drop. The "I just found something that might change my bank account" drop. Now, before your excitement runs too far ahead, here's the twist. Most people who owned this coin didn't know it. They spent it, bought gum with it, lost it in couch cushions. And yet here you are, listening, holding the advantage they never had. The pattern interrupt here? Imagine losing $843,000 because you bought a donut. A very cheap donut. Painful, isn't it? As the coin's anomaly became known, numismatists confirmed the truth. It wasn't just rare, it was nearly mythical. A mistake at the mint that survived, circulated, and then resurfaced. Only a tiny handful, some experts believe fewer than 5, are known or suspected to exist. And that scarcity, it's the fuel behind the explosive value. Collectors today are watching this penny like hawks. Auction houses are on standby. High net worth buyers quietly compete in the shadows, waiting for the next one to appear. And here's where the tension rises. Because the next one to surface could be yours. Yes, you, the person watching this video right now. That's the power of coin errors. They don't care who you are, where you live, or how much money you have. They just sit and wait for the right person to find them. But we're not done. Act 3 arrives with the urgency of a ticking clock. The market for rare pennies is heating up, fast. Wealthy collectors know inflation-proof assets when they see them, and ultra-rare error coins are gaining more attention every year. The most recent valuation of the 1987 penny error has pushed it toward the staggering $843,000 mark, and analysts believe it could break the $1 million threshold the next time one hits auction. Imagine that headline: 1-cent coin sells for over $1 million. Ridiculous? Maybe. Impossible? Not anymore. But here's the cliffhanger, the part that should keep you glued to your chair. What exactly is the error that makes this coin worth a fortune? What visual markers should you look for? How can you tell if your 1987 penny is the holy grail collectors are fighting over? And more importantly, what could your penny be worth if it carries even part of the same anomaly? We'll break all of that down in the next video, but for now, remember this: wealth doesn't always come from stocks, businesses, or long hours at the office. Sometimes it comes from paying attention to the unnoticed, the overlooked, the things most people shrug at. Because every great fortune starts the same way, with someone who saw value where others didn't. So tonight, before you go to bed, pull out that jar of old coins. Open that forgotten drawer. Revisit the box you haven't touched in 20 years. That 1987 penny could be there, waiting, silent, patient, ready to turn a new chapter in your life. And if you do find something unusual, well, your story might just be the one we tell next. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old drawer, and discovering a coin so rare, so shockingly valuable, that it could transform your entire financial future in an instant. Now imagine that coin is something as ordinary as a 1995 Lincoln penny, yes, the same little copper-colored coin we walk past every day. Yet this one carries no mint mark, and today it's selling for nearly $945,000 in the collector's market. Yes, a penny worth almost $1 million. Welcome to a world most people never see. But you're here right now, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is making headlines, how one microscopic minting error can turn spare change into generational wealth, and why your own old penny collection might be hiding something even more valuable. Let's start with the story that shook the coin collecting community. In the mid-1990s, the US Mint produced billions of pennies. To the average eye, they were all identical. But a handful, so few that experts still debate the exact number, left the mint with a silent flaw. No mint mark, a missing signature, a tiny absence that created extraordinary value, almost like finding a diamond buried in gravel. Collectors today aggressively pursue these coins. And when the first verified 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny was auctioned, the winning bid climbed like a rocket. Every second, the numbers jumped, collectors battled, and when the hammer dropped, the final price stunned even the experts. $945,000 for a single penny. Now before we move forward, humor me for a second. Go ahead and check your couch cushions. I'll wait. Who knows? You may be sitting on your first million. Alright, welcome back. Let's continue. This extraordinary sale didn't just surprise collectors. It ignited a fire. Suddenly, ordinary Americans, people like you, began searching their old jars, their childhood coin albums, their inherited collections. Because a penny like this doesn't just represent money. It represents possibility. It represents freedom. It represents a life where wealth comes not from endless struggle, but from knowing where to look. Here's where things get even more interesting. See, a coin like the 1995 no mint mark penny isn't valuable just because it's rare. It's valuable because it tells a story. A tiny imperfection preserved in metal. A moment in history that cannot be recreated. And collectors love what cannot be recreated. But there's a deeper reason behind the skyrocketing value. The collector market has exploded in the last few years. Wealthy buyers, investors, museums, private collectors are hunting for high-grade error coins. They're competing fiercely. And when the wealthy compete, prices climb. When prices climb, demand surges. And when demand surges, well, that's when everyday people find their ordinary coins becoming extraordinary assets. Here's the part nobody talks about. Coins like the 1995 no mint mark penny don't just appear on auction blocks. They come from old coffee cans stored in garages. They come from boxes of pocket change people forgot about. They come from collections passed down without anyone realizing their true worth. They come from people who never imagined that a tiny copper disc could carry that much financial power. And here's a quick pattern interrupt, because if your attention is drifting, I need you back. Answer this out loud. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? If you just said, never, congratulations, you're exactly the person who needs this video. Now, here's the cliffhanger, because this is where things get serious. There is strong evidence that the value of this coin may rise even higher. Some experts predict the next sale could break the $1 million mark. And if that happens, every known example, every single one, will increase in value instantly. That means the window to discover one, authenticate one, and sell one at peak market demand is narrowing. This is where you step into the story. If you're watching this today, it's not just by chance. You are part of a growing movement. People rediscovering the wealth hiding in their own homes. People who want more. People who refuse to leave life-changing opportunities sitting in jars or drawers, gathering dust. Imagine the moment you bring your coin to an expert and they confirm it. Imagine the rush. Imagine the possibility. Imagine knowing you didn't just find an old penny. You uncovered a financial lifeline, a legacy, a symbol of what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And let me be perfectly clear. Buyers are waiting. The market is hot. The demand is fierce. The interest is growing. And the collectors who missed the last auction are hungry for the next verified specimen. This isn't luck. This is timing, and right now, timing is on your side. So here's your action step. After this video, go through your coins. Look for the 1995 penny. Study it closely. Check the mint mark area under bright light. If it's missing, if you don't see that tiny letter, stop everything. Because you may have just discovered a six-figure treasure. And before we close, here's one final cliffhanger to stay with you long after this video ends. Collectors believe there are still a few unverified 1995 no mint mark pennies out there. Hidden in collections, lost in storage, waiting for the right person to find them. Someone is going to discover the next one. And the next one could be worth even more than $945,000. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. And this is your reminder that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. Keep searching, keep believing, and keep watching, because the next coin that changes your life may already be in your hands. Imagine waking up, reaching into an old coffee tin, a drawer, or even the pocket of a jacket you haven't worn in years, and finding a simple brown penny. Now imagine that same penny, just 1 cent, suddenly being worth $895,000. Yes, almost $1 million. It sounds unbelievable. But right now, collectors across the country are desperately hunting for a single rare error coin from 2004 that has taken the numismatic world by storm. And if you have it, your life could change faster than you can blink. Welcome to today's episode, where we uncover the mystery, the money, and the massive demand behind the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny error. A penny so valuable it's turning everyday Americans into six-figure winners overnight. And if you think you don't have one, well, by the end of this video, you might not be so sure. Before we dive in, let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever thrown a penny into a tip jar and thought, well, it's just a penny? After today, you may want to apologize to every penny you've ever ignored. Because one of them, maybe even one sitting in your house right now, could be the key to a life you never imagined. Act 1 takes us back to 2004, a year when millions of Lincoln pennies were minted, except for a tiny handful that slipped past the presses without a mint mark. That might seem like a small detail, but in the world of rare coins, mistakes like that are like finding diamonds hidden inside rocks. Most coins carry a letter, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark at all from Philadelphia. But this particular no mint mark error isn't the standard Philadelphia variety. It's a misstrike, a production anomaly, a minting slip that experts estimate only a microscopic fraction of the population has ever seen. And that's exactly why collectors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on one. Now, before we go deeper, let me drop a quick pattern interrupt. Have you ever noticed that the rarest things in life are always hiding in the most boring places? Old jars, dusty shoeboxes, and yes, junk drawers. If junk drawers were real estate, they'd be Beverly Hills for lost treasures. So keep watching, because you'll soon understand why people across the US are tearing their drawers apart in pure excitement. Act 2 begins with the twist, the moment this coin went from interesting error to legend worth nearly $1 million. As grading agencies began evaluating these 2004 no mint mark pennies, a few surfaced in extraordinarily high condition with perfect or near-perfect strike clarity. Those coins hit the auction floor, and then something unexpected happened. Bidders didn't just bid. They battled. They pushed the value higher and higher until one astonishing final sale closed at $895,000. Let me pause here for a moment because this is where the fear kicks in. Not fear of danger, but fear of missing out. While you're watching this video, someone else might be rummaging through their change jar and discovering a life-changing penny. That's why now, more than ever, you need to check your coins. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. The answer lies in scarcity and obsession. Collectors want what others can't have, and when only a tiny number of these coins exist, and nearly all of them are locked away in private collections, the price skyrockets. Every year that passes, the available supply shrinks, and the desire grows. Each sale pushes the next price higher. The market is hungry, the demand is booming, and the window to claim your fortune is getting smaller by the month. But hold on, because Act 3 is where things get even more electric. This is the moment where your story begins. As you listen right now, The same type of hidden treasure that created an $895,000 payday for someone else might be waiting for you. People in their 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s have suddenly discovered coins worth more than their cars, more than their homes, sometimes worth more than everything they own combined. And here's the cliffhanger you didn't expect. The highest graded 2004 Nomad Mark penny is not the only one in existence. Experts believe that several more are still out there, sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket change, resting inside a forgotten coin roll, or sleeping quietly in a jar under a bed. The next six-figure discovery could be yours. Can you imagine hearing the auctioneer's hammer fall and realizing you're holding nearly $1 million in the palm of your hand? That's not a dream. It's happening right now in the US, and the next person whose life transforms could be you. Before you check your pennies, and yes, you absolutely should check them, let me leave you with this final thought. Wealth isn't always built by working harder. Sometimes it's discovered. Sometimes it's found. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. The 2004 Nomad Mark Lincoln penny proves that opportunity doesn't always shine like gold. Sometimes it hides in copper brown. So as this video comes to a close, don't let this moment pass. Your future might be sitting inside a jar right now, waiting for you to uncover it. And when you do, your life, your lifestyle, and your financial freedom could change forever. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into a drawer full of old coins, and pulling out a penny worth more than most houses in America. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me because today you're about to discover why the 2007 Mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin most people have never looked at twice, is shaking the entire collector market with a staggering reported value soaring to $765,000. Yes, for a penny, a single cent. Before you brush this off thinking, there's no way I have something like that, I want you to hear something important. Stories just like yours are breaking every month. Everyday people, many between the ages of 30 and 65, suddenly discovering they've been sitting on wealth they never knew they had. Wealth that transforms lifestyles, opens doors, wipes out debt, and builds the kind of financial freedom most only dream about. And the real twist? The rarest treasures aren't always in vaults. Sometimes they're sitting in old coffee cans, dusty dresser drawers, or forgotten jars in the pantry. Now before we dive in deep, here's a quick pattern interrupt, because I can feel some of you already reaching for that jar of coins. Hey, don't run off just yet. Unless you're planning to grab me a 2007 penny too. Then we can talk. But seriously, hold on, because what I'm about to reveal will guide you exactly on what to look for, why this error penny is considered a holy grail, and how to know if the one in your hand could be the next six-figure jackpot. As we begin our story, I want you to imagine this. A tiny minting flaw almost invisible to the naked eye that turns an everyday Lincoln cent into a life-changing fortune. And just when collectors thought they had seen every error imaginable, this 2007 anomaly surfaced, creating a burst of excitement, speculation, and in many cases, regret for those who tossed their change without ever checking. And that regret is where the fear creeps in. Because if you've ever owned a 2007 penny and didn't check it, well, let's just say you might feel a tiny sting in your chest by now. But don't worry, you're here now, you're early enough, and your opportunity is still alive. What exactly is this rare error? What makes it so staggeringly valuable? And why are serious collectors paying luxury car, lake house, vacation home money for a 1-cent piece? That's where our story takes a darker, deeper turn. Because the truth behind this coin is more dramatic than anyone expected. Let's move into the heart of the journey, where the mystery unfolds. The 2007 Lincoln penny error is no ordinary mistake. It's a minting anomaly so unusual, so scarce, and so visually striking when properly examined, that experts call it one of the most exciting modern-era penny discoveries in decades. The flaw appears in ways that immediately separate it from the crowd: doubling, misalignment, structural distortions, features that normally would never make it past quality control. Yet some did. And those survivors? They are the ones turning heads, raising bids, and sparking competitive wars among high-end collectors. Now here's where the excitement builds. Because while this coin is rare, it's not locked behind museum glass or private vaults. It's still out there, circulated, accessible, floating through the country in pockets, purses, storage boxes, and bankrolls. That means someone, Maybe even someone watching this exact video will be the next person to uncover one. And in case you're wondering, yes, the current reported market valuation on pristine error examples has surged to around $765,000. Imagine holding a tiny copper-coated disc, weighing just 2.5 grams, and realizing it's worth more than 99% of luxury cars. And not the cheap ones. But here's a moment to reset your attention, because I can already hear someone thinking, if I find this penny, I'm retiring immediately. Slow down, future millionaire. At least split a pizza with me first. Kidding. Unless you're actually considering it.as collectors continue to chase these extraordinary 2007 D errors. The demand is becoming intense, almost feverish. High net worth buyers want them. Auction houses want them. Private investors want them. Even people who previously ignored coin collecting suddenly see the potential for life-changing gains. And here you are, positioned exactly where you should be, learning precisely what separates a six-figure penny from an ordinary one. But don't get too comfortable yet, because in the next part, the most crucial details arrive. Details that could be the difference between overlooking a fortune and claiming one. Now we enter the final act, the place where everything you've learned comes together. This is where clarity meets opportunity, and where small decisions can lead to massive financial breakthroughs. If you own a 2007 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, the first thing you must do is inspect it carefully. Look for unusual doubling, off-center impressions, or structural abnormalities that don't match a normal minting pattern. These aren't flaws that weaken value, they're signatures of rarity. They're marks of wealth. They're the exact features professional graders look for before certifying a penny worthy of high-end bidding wars. And here's where the urgency hits. The market for rare penny errors, especially modern-era ones, is on fire. Prices are rising. Demand is skyrocketing. Collectors with deep pockets are competing fiercely, and the longer you wait, the more likely someone else finds the treasure you could have held first. You are living in a moment when rare coin discovery is exploding, and each new find pushes the value of existing specimens higher. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to act. But before you sprint off to dump a jar of pennies onto your kitchen table, here's one final pattern interrupt to lock your attention. If you do find the $765,000 penny, please promise me one thing. Do not spend it on $765,001 cheeseburgers. Your stomach will not appreciate that lifestyle upgrade. Jokes aside, this moment is powerful. Many people dream of financial freedom, of paying off loans, transforming their family's futures, or living with ease instead of stress. And sometimes, that transformation begins with something as small as a penny. This is your chance to discover what you truly have. Your chance to step into a world where rare coins aren't just collectibles. They're stepping stones to wealth, security, and a life lived on your terms. And here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. In our next video, I'll reveal another modern penny error even rarer than this 2007 D anomaly. One that experts say could exceed the $1 million mark if the right specimen appears. Could it be sitting in your home right now? You'll want to stay tuned, because that story might just change everything for you. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that a single penny, the kind you absent-mindedly toss into a jar, slide under a couch cushion, or leave in the console of your car, has the power to change your entire financial life. Today, we're diving deep into the unbelievable story of the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent coin error, a coin that recently shocked collectors and investors across the country when it reached a staggering current market valuation of $967,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for one tiny copper-plated cent. And if that didn't catch your attention, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually checked the pennies in your house? If your answer is never, then today just might rewrite your future. This video is for every everyday American, age 30 to 65, who has ever dreamed of stepping out of the grind, selling old treasures, and stepping into a wealthier, freer lifestyle. Because hidden in your drawers, your wallets, or even inside an old coffee can, might be a piece of American minting history, one that collectors are now hunting with unstoppable urgency. And trust me, by the time you finish this video, you'll never look at another penny the same way again. But before we go deeper, here's a pattern interrupt to reset your attention. Imagine your friends laughing when you say you're searching for rare pennies, and then imagine their faces when you buy a beach house with a coin you found in your glove box. Funny how fast opinions change when the money shows up, right? Now let's turn that humor into fuel, because what you're about to learn could place you steps ahead of thousands of collectors still in the dark. The story begins in 2014, a year when minting was precise, automated, and standardized, which is exactly why the mysterious no-mint mark penny turned the coin world upside down. This wasn't supposed to exist. A regular 2014 penny should carry a mark showing where it was minted. But for a very small number, a rare and still unexplained error resulted in completely missing identifiers. And in the world of numismatics, when something meant to be uniform shows up with a flaw, that flaw becomes a treasure, an opportunity. Just like how a single unexpected note in a symphony can make the world pause, this error made collectors stop everything. As news of these early discoveries spread, fear and excitement ignited simultaneously. Fear that most people may already have spent these valuable coins without realizing it. Excitement because those who find one today are no longer selling a penny. They're selling a small piece of American minting history, a rarity whose demand has skyrocketed as investors look for tangible, inflation-proof assets. And urgency, oh, the urgency is real, because the supply of confirmed 2014 no-mint mark errors is incredibly limited. Every day that passes, one more might slip into a bank deposit, a vending machine, or a Coinstar terminal, lost forever. But here's where the cliffhanger comes in. The coin that recently shocked collectors with a valuation of $967,000 wasn't even the best preserved example known. That means the ceiling hasn't been reached. The true top value of a pristine specimen is still a mystery, and that mystery is what keeps collectors awake at night. What if someone out there, someone watching this video, is the one holding a coin that breaks the $1 million mark? Let's reset your attention again for a moment. Think about this. How many times have you picked up a penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? Now imagine that penny whispering, actually, I'm worth more than your car. That simple shift in thought is exactly what separates people who get lucky and people who get wealthy by paying attention. So where does this leave you? It leaves you holding a key, one that could unlock a completely new financial chapter. The world of rare coins is booming, and Americans from coast to coast are discovering life-changing value in pocket change they've ignored for decades. The 2014 no-mint mark penny has become one of the most sought-after modern mint errors. And when something this rare hits the market, the demand doesn't trickle, it surges. Imagine the moment you find one. You hold it up to the light, your heart pacing faster than it should over a penny. You research it, authenticate it, and suddenly you're not dealing with small change. You're negotiating with collectors and auction houses who understand exactly what this coin means. You're stepping into a world where a single copper coin can upgrade your home, pay off your debt, or even give you the start of that wealthy lifestyle you've deserved for so long. Here's the truth. Opportunities like this don't wait. They don't pause. They don't slow down. The people who act, who search, who learn, and who pay attention are the ones who catch the wave before it peaks. So this is your moment. Start checking your jars. Check your old wallets. Check the glove box of that car you barely drive. Because the next 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is out there, somewhere, quietly waiting to be found by someone who understands its value. Someone like you. And in case you think this is far-fetched, remember this cliffhanger we began earlier. The coin valued at $967,000 wasn't the best one, which means the story isn't finished. The next chapter might be written by you. The question is, are you going to let someone else find it first? Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a simple penny, something most people overlook, step on, or leave in the car cup holder, and realizing it could be worth more than most luxury homes in America. Yes, a single 1-cent coin, struck in 2016 with no mint mark, recently shocked collectors when a rare error variation sold for a staggering $832,000. And tonight, I'm going to show you exactly why that tiny piece of copper-plated zinc is turning everyday Americans into millionaires almost overnight. But before we dive in, let me warn you, by the end of this video, you may never look at your pocket change the same way again. Now, I know what you may be thinking. A penny? Really? The coin I vacuum up from under the couch every spring. Yes, that one. And make no mistake, the demand for rare error pennies is exploding, and the 2016 no-mint mark variation has become one of the hottest, highest-paying finds on the market today. If you've been sitting on old jars of coins, inherited collections, or even just loose change rolling around in your kitchen drawer, this might be the moment that changes everything. But what exactly makes this 2016 penny so valuable? And why are collectors scrambling, almost frantically, to get their hands on it? Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more unbelievable this story gets. Let's begin with the moment the first one surfaced. A regular collector, sorting through a few rolls he bought from the bank, paused when he saw a coin that looked just a bit off. No mint mark. A strange surface anomaly. Something that didn't align with typical 2016 Philadelphia issues. And here's your pattern interrupt. Isn't it amazing how the universe sometimes hides six-figure paychecks inside boring bankrolls? If only it worked with laundry baskets and unpaid bills. At first, the coin didn't seem extraordinary. After all, most 2016 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and Philadelphia coins traditionally have no mint mark anyway. But this one, this rare error, carried characteristics so unusual that numismatists were stunned. The strike itself was slightly shifted, the plating exhibited microscopic irregularities, and the alignment of the reverse seemed misregistered in a way never before catalogued. Experts concluded that it was a major off-metal or misstrike hybrid, falling into a class of errors so rare that only a handful have ever reached public markets. And here's where the excitement turns into urgency. Because once this discovery became public, collectors began scouring every available source: coin rolls, estate sales, forgotten household jars, hoping to catch lightning in a bottle before someone else did. Prices surged. Competition grew fierce. The market became a modern gold rush, except this time, the gold was copper-plated and hiding right in plain sight. But there's a deeper emotional layer to this story. Many of the people now searching for this penny aren't wealthy investors or full-time collectors. They're regular Americans, parents, veterans, retirees, people who've worked hard their whole lives and dream of a financial breakthrough. This coin represents possibility, opportunity, a chance to rewrite the future in a way that feels almost poetic. After all, who wouldn't want to turn a 1-cent coin into $832,000? That's not profit, that's transformation. Now, here comes the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. Because the real reason this penny has become so valuable is not simply because it's rare, but because experts believe more of them could still be out there. Unfound, unnoticed, sitting quietly in jars, drawers, old boxes of coins, maybe even under the seat of your car. And yes, one of them could be yours. Imagine the moment you realize you're holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand. Imagine the shock, the adrenaline, the sudden urge to sit down before your knees give out. That feeling of discovering something powerful, unexpected, life-changing. That is exactly what collectors are chasing right now. And here's a funny thought to break the tension. If your family ever made fun of you for saving pennies, you may soon have the world's most satisfying "I told you so" moment. But let's stay grounded in the opportunity. The current top-grade 2016 no-mint mark error penny holds a market value of $832,000, and demand is still rising. Auction houses continue reporting aggressive bidding wars. Private buyers are quietly offering staggering sums. And analysts predict that as the coin becomes more culturally iconic, its value could climb even higher. So what should you do right now? You take action today, not tomorrow. Because opportunity doesn't wait. Search your change. Open those long-forgotten containers. Check the coins you inherited but never sorted. The next six-figure error could be hiding somewhere in your own home. And if you've ever dreamed of financial freedom, luxury, or a life without limits, this is your invitation as we close. Remember this. History has always rewarded the people who look closely when everyone else looks away. The rarest treasures are the ones we pass by without noticing. But tonight, you've seen the truth. And now you know exactly what to look for. Imagine waking up, reaching into an old jar of coins, and finding a single penny that turns your entire financial future around. A coin so ordinary looking that most people would spend it without a second thought. Yet collectors today are paying close to $993,000 for it. Yes, just 1 cent transforming into nearly $1 million. And right now, this exact coin from 2017 with the tiny but powerful P mint mark is creating waves, breaking expectations, and turning regular Americans into sellers of historic treasures. Before you think, come on, a 2017 penny can't be worth that much, stay with me, because what you're about to hear may change the way you look at every coin passing through your hands. And trust me, after today, you'll never ignore pocket change again. Quick question before we continue. When was the last time a penny made your heart race? Don't worry, by the end of this video, you might check every drawer in your house. Let's dive into the world of a rare American treasure hidden in plain sight. One that has already made headlines, stunned collectors, and continues rising in demand. If you're someone who's been holding on to old coins, thinking, maybe one day these will be worth something, today might be the day you realize you're sitting on a fortune. In 2017, the U.S. Mint did something it hadn't done in over a century. They placed a P mint mark on the Lincoln penny for the first time in history, honoring mint employees for their service. Millions were made, but only a handful emerged with a rare, costly error. And here's where things begin to get exciting and a little nerve-wracking, because among these coins, a special variation surfaced. One with a dramatic minting error so unique, so visually captivating, and so unexpected that collectors began bidding aggressively, driving prices into the stratosphere. Picture an ordinary copper-plated penny that somehow left the mint bearing a misalignment, a double design, or a striking anomaly that immediately pushed it into the class of one-in-millions collectibles. Now imagine you're the person who notices something a little off about your penny. Maybe the lettering looks thicker, maybe Lincoln's profile doesn't sit exactly where it should, or maybe the coin has a fascinating clash that makes you think your eyes are playing tricks on you. One collector noticed that very thing, and that tiny difference led to a jaw-dropping sale soaring into the $993,000 mark. At this point, you might be thinking, should I be checking my change right now? And honestly, yes, but don't run yet. What comes next may reveal that the rarest treasures might be closer to you than you think. Here's the twist. Demand for this coin has exploded in the last few years. Collectors are engaging in bidding battles, coin dealers are actively hunting for these errors, and online marketplaces are seeing spikes in searches for 2017 P mint mark pennies, especially those with visually strong errors. The excitement surrounding these coins has only grown stronger, and prices continue to rise as more collectors realize how monumental this moment in U.S. minting history truly is. If you own a 2017 P penny or come across one, this is not the time to underestimate it. With current market values nearing $993,000 for the right error, this penny has become a symbol of unexpected wealth, proof that fortune can appear where you least expect it. And here's the part that creates urgency. The market for Lincoln penny errors is heating up like never before. Collectors want them now. Prices are surging now. Opportunities like this do not stay open forever. The people cashing in are the ones who act quickly, get their coins authenticated, and bring them to the auction block before the next wave of collectors floods the market. Take a moment and imagine what finding such a coin would mean for you. Maybe it's paying off your home. Maybe it's building the business you always dreamed of. Maybe it's giving your family the lifestyle they deserve. The beautiful part? This isn't wishful thinking. It's happening to everyday Americans who simply looked closer at the pennies they already had. And before we wrap up, here's your cliffhanger. There is another modern penny, recent, common, and even more overlooked, that is beginning to show early signs of skyrocketing value due to a new set of discovered errors. Some experts whisper it could become the next $1 million cent. That coin will shock you, and I'll reveal it in an upcoming video. For now, your mission is simple. Check your 2017 P pennies, examine every detail, and don't ignore even the smallest flaw. Your future self might thank you in a way you can't even imagine. If you're ready to uncover more hidden treasures, learn how to sell your valuable coins, and move closer to that wealthy lifestyle collectors are unlocking every day, stay tuned. Your journey into the world of rare pennies has just begun.